Hey, my name is Scotty, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to sketch this building in Austria step by step using ink and watercolor. Okay, the first thing we need to do here is to divide the page up so that it fits nicely on the page. So my page here is about 19.5 centimeters, which is nearly 7.5 inches there. So that's approximately the size that I'm doing this. So if I go up about a third of the page there and put a dot just on either side, just to give it a bit of a border. I don't want to go past that too much. And then this building can take up slightly more than half the width. So if we go to about halfway and we come across a little bit, we'll put it there. We want the building to be the main feature. So then we have those two dots, and that's for the building. Okay, and then between those two dots, let's divide that width into 4. So go halfway, just guessing there, and then halfway, and then halfway here. There we go. Now we have 4 sections there. And that's how we're going to break up this building. So the main feature is that nice, beautiful round end to the building. And that will be these 2 sections here. So what we can do is start doing the base here. We'll make a very subtle curve on the bottom of that building. So let's join those 2 dots up like that. And the height of that section is actually that width. So we'll take that width there. You can use your fingers. Do that, and just approximately there, and then on the other side here above this dot, another one there. So then we have a square shape there for that round part of the building. But you can see it slightly tapers, slightly angles to the right. So let's move that dot, if you're looking directly above that dot, just slightly to the right, and this one should be just slightly in a little bit. Now we can connect those 2 lines and make a nice curve. It's a bit bigger than this curve. And if you struggle with doing the curves, go into the middle between the dots and then put a dot just up a little bit from directly between them. And now we've got something to aim for. So let's connect these dots like this. If it's a bit wonky, just do a second line like that. Now let's connect these 2 lines from here to there. So we go down like this, like that, and then down on this side. Should have a slight taper on it. Now I've done that first section of the building, that's looking good. Let's draw the side bit here. So the top of this building goes 2/3, so 1, 2, about there, 2/3 up. And this is about a third up, so about a third up from the height of this building. We come across, put a dot there too. Now it has the same angle as the side of the tower, this round section of the tower. Now we can join those dots up, and we can actually give it a bit of that width. Come down like this, interesting shapes there, like that. You can even add a top layer. Now we join those 2 dots up there, give that building that angle, and then back again here. I'm just giving little wiggles to give it character. Okay, I like those 2 shapes, they're very nice. Now we have to do the side of the building here. So it's only about half the building there. It looks like it's more, but it's about half the building there. So that end section there you have, and you can go a bit further to the right if you need to, but let's divide that into 3. So 1, 2, 3. And we come up from that first dot we put, and see that corner there? It's above this dot but slightly higher than this. So we go about there. Same angle as the side of the building. And let's go across to there and then down to that point. There. Add a base to it like that. And now we know that section there, that's the end of the building. So this end section here goes up 2/3 of this section. 1, 2 of this total height. 1, 2, and then cross. And the same thing, we're giving even more angle here because it's further away from this middle point. So let's give that angle like that. And now this little section here has those rocks. So you have a big rock and then a nice presentation rock with some words on it. So in one line, just make something nice and expressive there. You can add the writing too, like that. Now let's link those 2 lines up and just keep an eye on that angle. Make sure it's a nice steep angle for us there. So don't make it too flat. If it is too flat, just go lower on this side, cut down a bit lower. There we go. And you notice all those little lines on the side of the building there, they start very steep up there and then they get more and more horizontal. And that's where the eye line is down the bottom, because the person's standing at that height. Now I want to add that conical roof on the top there. So let's do that. We can come down from that corner a little bit, just a tad, about there. And how far do we want to come out? Well, we can start here and put a little dot there and just see that width there. Make sure you like that width. but that side bit there should be wider, so wider than we have here. Come out there and there on that side. Now let's just join those up. This is quite a tricky line to do, so have a few goes if you get it wrong. Do a double line. Ooh, going a bit further out there. That's okay, that'll show the width anyway and will disappear with all the different woodwork that we have at the top there. Now the point, we can measure from the top to the bottom here, go halfway and then quarter way. So that's dividing that whole height into 4, and that top bit there, we go up to that same distance there like that. It's not very far actually. And then when we draw this line here from this corner to the point, we want it to have a little bit of a curve, just subtle, and you can even put a dot between the 2 points, just a little bit in, and that'll help like that. Here to there, the middle is exactly there, and I just put it down a little bit, and there we go. Oh, and that's because I probably need to turn the page. I'll draw another one. Okay. Now let's draw this tower here. So the tower, if we actually get the whole width of the building, if we put it up like that, that's actually the top of the tower. So somewhere up there. But I'll first work down here, and we can find about halfway there and put a dot there. And then we're looking up here, and it's just a little bit smaller than halfway, just down there. So we have those 2 points where the building comes to. And the height of the white section before it gets to that roof is just above this dot. So if we go up a little bit above that dot, come across until we get to this point and put a dot there. And it should have a slight angle. So that's straight, and then I'm angling it in just slightly like that. Then we can draw that line there. So join those 2 lines up like that. And then we want to draw this side. But you'll notice this point on the tower is actually lower than this point. So it has a bit of an angle between those 2 points where it changes direction. So if you come up from here, directly opposite there, that would be wrong. You have to go up just a tiny bit more. So if you join those 2 dots, there'd be an angle going up this way. So let's put an angle there, put a line there, sorry, like that. And now we see the top of the tower's there, which is almost perfect for a triangle there. So now it should be, if you look at those 2 points there, that dot should be just slightly to the left. So that would be the right angle because we're looking up at this building at an angle. So let's just draw the part, not the roof part, but just the white part of the triangle. And then down to there. There we go, they've got that nice shape. And in fact, that line there should actually have the same angle as all these, pretty much. So if it's not, you can add another line later when we do the roof. So this line here, this little line, it will be angling back this way. Same with that. These are these lines here, that little line there is at that same angle. It's back like that. And then a little bit for the gutter there, and then all the way to the top like that. And then we're coming down a little bit closer to the line. There we go. I can draw a line there and there. Now this line here actually continues flat, following this line of this roof here. Another one like this, and then cut it off there and then back down. And this line here will give it a bit of the thickness, showing that like that. So that little line there, that lip. If you do this line here and it looks like this point here is lower than those 2, you might have to add a little line there, like that. Now, in the reference, this line was actually a little bit higher there, that point. But we can get away with that. Now, same point, this back roof here we're doing now. We go close to this point at the top of the tower, go down a little bit there, and then up. But I'm slightly exaggerating that to make it interesting. It goes up to there. And then we come out to this point here. So there's a gutter there, and we follow a similar line to there, and we go down. It kind of curves up, doesn't it? Like that. And then back along the edge here, like that. I might turn the page so I can draw this angle. So I want that width there, like that. Now we've constructed the building. We have a really nice shape here on the front. Let's do some of the details before we move on to this area. So what we can do here is, with all these little wooden tiles, we can divide them up like this with some nice lines. And I'll draw these lines at an angle, following the angle of the roof line and drawing lines like this. To start here, I'm just doing it in one line, so go back the other way, just go slowly, taking care with those details to make them nice. And then the pipe, you see the black pipe there coming down. down there, and then another one. Can't forget the windows in there. And the top of the window would also angle. So the two top points of the window, they're not the same height there. They have to have an angle, otherwise they don't look like they're going on that surface. I'm doing an arch window like this. And the next one shouldn't be in the same height like this. It should come down a bit like the roof is. Now I can turn and keep the angle. Now, a very important feature is these windows. So let's do this one here. It's about 1/3 of the height there. So if you go down about 1/3 here, just to the left of the center, and then up another 1/3, maybe a little bit higher than 1/3. And there we have the height of the window. Now we want the width. So leave enough space there, and see how wide you want to make this window. I come down to here and do 2 dots. Now I've laid out where I want the window, and I'm happy with that. I can draw a nice arch over the top, and then come down to those points, add a window sill ledge like that, and down this side. Now, I really love how thick this building must be, how inset the windows are. So we have to make sure these show that. So make that width there, just testing that with a dot, and then putting the window in. That's really good. And we have the bars going across like this. And actually you can see some black bars if you look very carefully. So I'll add some vertical lines as well. Okay, so little dot, little marks on the building there. Now this window up here. So we do about 1/3 of the width of this. You can put that, so mark that out, and then the arch on the top, and then then we mark, see how high the building will be. So how wide the window will be. So now this angle should follow actually this. So a bit of an angle there, and then down that, and then add that inner window there like that. It also has double A like that, and then also has these little slats that are at an angle. And we have a windowsill there too. Now let's move on to sketching the people. So when I do people, there's several different ways you can do that. With very small people, you can just do the silhouette. So if you're confident with that, you can just follow the outline of the people and then add in some, break it up to make the details. So today I'm going to be doing 3 shapes. That could work really well here. So the head, the torso, and the legs. Then I'll add in the arms and any other details that need to be done. So I'll look at this shape here. About there is the head coming down from there to there, and there's another head here. Okay, like that. Make sure when you're doing people you don't press harder than you have been. They really stand out a bit too much if you do that. So now first we add in the head. I'm trying to do them lightly like I've done the other lines. That's the head, and then I'm outlining the silhouette of the torso first. So I'm just looking at where the shapes are on the outside. Bottom comes down to about there, and then the legs come and they to a general taper. So this point is thin and this point is a bit thicker. Then we can add little shoes, little triangles, and the arms. So I'm not doing the sleeves really, I'm just doing the arms. They're like tapered, like carrots, like that. And then this person here, that's the head, shoulders down to where their bottom is against the chair. And then we have legs like this. And once again, and then little shoes. You can divide the face up, just add the face there, like that. We'll draw the head similar size as well. So if it is wrong, the person will come a little bit higher. So that's the head shape. And then I'm following the outline of this shape. And it usually a bit thinner at there and a bit wider at the hips. So this space here should be about 3 head lengths. 1, 2, 3. That's that top section. And then we do the bottom section where we just outline the legs and they come to a point. If you're not sure, just come to a little point like that and they come back out to those hips. Little triangle feet. And now we can divide that up by adding in the arm. It's another tapered shape like that. And then the backpack. There we go. You can divide them up with the shorts. Now the next person, so I'm bringing them down now slightly, so the next person will be even lower. So he'll have his head here and they will get bigger as they get closer. I don't want to go too far out the page, so I just might add one last person there, not the lady there standing there. So head's a bit bigger than the others, and it's outlining that shape and something going on there, and then the legs shoes. And let's try and draw this arm. This is a tricky arm, so don't worry if you can't get this quite right. Just getting that shape of the arm sticking out there. He's got a bag on the back here, like this, coming up there, and I'm trying to get some of the look that it's the grass going into the pebbles, like that. You can add some more details. There's a post here and some rocks. Okay, I'm really happy with the composition. I like how this center building sticks out. Is the focus. I like how the center building is the focus, and then the people come down this way. We can actually add the mountains in the background. So now we're going to do watercolor, and I've got my round 12 brush that we're going to do that with. Start with the sky. So what we're going to do first is to wet our big brush like this, and then cover this surface here with water. Fill up that whole sky with plain water. The first color we need is cerulean blue, so that's my light blue there. Bring it across like this and give it a broken edge that looks like there's clouds. This is called ultramarine blue. We come down here, we're just going to add a little bit to frame this building, but we're getting close to the building here. And then we're getting Payne's grey, which is a very light grey. See that? We can just add a bit of the shadow, not too close to the blue, the shadowy part of the cloud. Sap green, so that's a yellowy green. Let's come across there, a bit over here, and then you can get some darker green. I've got Viridian green, and change the color just slightly in the middle here. Wherever there's skin, add a little bit of burnt sienna. Okay, I'm going to wait for that to dry and then do some other colors. So now I'm going to go down to my size 10 brush, and we're going to do the wood on the roof here. So I've got burnt umber, Payne's grey into it. A very light layer to it, and we can add different layers to make it have better contrast later. Okay, and then as we come up here, let's add some burnt sienna. Can leave some little gaps, some of that Payne's grey. We can come to a lot darker, come down like this. Now that this section's dry, we can add that mountain range behind. We've got the Payne's grey up there. We can add a tiny bit of ultramarine into it like that. It gives it a dark navy colour. Just around the people, and just bring down the edge, make it have a gradient from dark at the top to light at the bottom. It's a really simple way to give the interest. Now I'll let that dry again, and we'll do the shadows next. So go back to my round 12 brush, and for the shadows, you can do them plain grey if you like, or just Payne's grey, but I like to use an interesting mix of ultramarine and purple lake. So I'm going to put ultramarine there. Up the top here, we've got a shadow just below this awning here, this roof up here. And what we're going to do is grab bits of this purple lake and just add it into the bottom of some of these. And then let's come across the top of the building here, like that. And it even goes down around the corner down there, quickly so it doesn't dry. And bringing down the purple layer now. Too much colour in there, so I'm drying my brush, just taking it out. Use this ultramarine and also add shadows to these people. Shadows on all the right hand side of the figures and little shadows branching off. And talking about splatters, have my trusty tool here, the Sam brush, which Sam, one of my Patreon members, told me about. And then spray. And also the green, we could also do that with the green on the grass, just a little bit. I love splatters. It's very light, might not see that well. So there you go, sand brush, thank you very much. Here under this section, because it's very dark there, blue, little spot of purple in there to make it really interesting. The same in here, we can add another layer here, pop that, make that contrasting nice. And it's a very light spray there, it's very subtle. Everyone's always wearing black and that's not so interesting, so I'm going to change some of the colours. So he's got a red t-shirt here, and his shorts in the background there, and his shorts, and also the backpacks. Backs can be a darker Payne's grey. I just want to add a little bit of pop of colour just on the edge of these roofs here, just to make it come alive a bit. The final step is to add some highlights with my Posca pen, PC1M. So the light comes down from this way, because the shadows are on this side, so we want some of the light to hit these surfaces here. Just on this roof here, we're just going to add a few little highlights showing those pieces of wood reflecting the sun. Now inside the texture of this building here, there could be some reflections, so Just adding just little dots like that in there. And then on the people, with the sun hitting the tops of people, so just on the tops of their surfaces, like the shoulders, the hats, little bits on their arms. So there you go, that's my final sketch. What do you think? I'd love to hear from you in the comments. If you'd like the full version of this, which is much easier to sketch along with, that'll be on my Patreon. And I've also got the reference there to go along with that. And then if you take a photo of your sketch, you can put it on the community chat where a whole group of warm and friendly people are, and we encourage each other. It's a really great place to improve your sketching. And plus I've got a whole lot of other fundamental tutorials if you're a beginner, which is really helpful if you're starting out with urban sketching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.